Hello, my name is Eric Oredera, and today I wanted to look at how easy I think it should be to make a custom race for Warcraft 3. So we're going to play pretend for a second here, and we're just going to pretend I'm going to run through this masses of data. Obviously, what I have here is not going to be real. I'm not focused on what is real. I'm focused on what Warcraft 3 could be, the design process that could be involved in making a custom race added to the game. With that, what I want to try to do, let's see if we can go pretty fast. Let's say we're going to add corrupted night elves into Warcraft 3, okay? I'm just going to make a very basic, we're going to take the wisp, we're going to copy it, we're going to make it pink here, it's going to be called corrupted wisp. And you know what, actually, we overlooked a really important factor here. So unit ID is very important. So let's make this start with the letter C. So C wisp for corrupted night elves wisp. Alright, now we're going to make this corrupted wisp. And, you know, I'll train corrupted wisp, something like that. Very, very basic. I'm probably not going to get all the tooltips right even here. I'm just thinking, right, it's going to build our corrupted tree of life from the campaign. This looks kind of cool. You know, a lot of people, they like to do that. They like to make corrupted tree of life. Sure, let's go ahead and... Well, no, because... Alright, I was thinking about copying the tree of life, but that's just going to waste our time. It already exists. It correctly upgrades into corrupted tree of ages, corrupted tree of eternity. We've got corrupted ancient of war up there, so this guy's going to build that too. And cap. And there we go. Corrupted ancient of war. I don't know what corrupted ancient war is supposed to train. Let's put some satyrs on there. Satyrs or satire, I'm just not sure how to say that. Probably each year I played this game in the last 15 years, I said it a slightly different way. You know, it's whatever you want. Alright, NStat, NSTS. This is pretty good. We got a basic corrupted wisp, and it builds corrupted tree of life. We need to make sure corrupted tree of life trains corrupted wisp. It's very important. Sea wisp, corrupted wisp, and we're going to put that on tree of life, tree of ages, tree of eternity. So now we have this corrupted night elves race, right? And let's pretend I could spend an hour here. I could spend 10 hours. I could add a whole bunch of units. We're not going to do that right now. We're just going to export these unit settings, right? And we're gonna talk about what would a person want to do if they're developing this. Let's see. We're going to make like a mod and call it CME corrupted night elf. Alright, corrupted night elf unit data. Right? Now, in theory, in a hypothetical world, a person would be able to just go to some kind of file. So in my case, I'm going to edit this war3mod.ini data file here, and we're going to add corrupt elf race, right? But it should be something like that a developer can do, right? Or they just go in a text file here and we add something to a text file like war3mod.ini that I'm editing right now. Here I have, this is an imaginary Warcraft installation, this is not real, but as with the popular Storm DLL that was used in old Blizzard games, now we have Earth and Fire DLLs. So what I'll do is I'll go to my Warcraft installation, and I'll go to whatever the game MPQ is. Let's see. Right, and we'll just take the game MPQ, we'll extract it, and add files. This is what we want to be able to do. Add some files here. Now we're going to lose a little bit of time while we open up the game. In this case, Storm, Earth, and Fire, Warcraft Singularity in the imaginary version here. This is totally imaginary, right? In this imaginary version of Warcraft, it's only 130 megabytes. That's for pretend. But for my pretend version, we're going to add pretend corrupt night elves right now in this miniature pretend Warcraft. Using Fire MPQ. So in this case, I'm pretending this is like War 3 MPQ or War 3X MPQ, like one of those. That was how developers used to mod the game. Now, this is where Blizzard would get creative. In theory, you know, I've edited this War 3 mod INI file to add corrupt elf, but in the main function of a Jass script, it allows you to call a few basic setup functions that run when it loads the map's player slots, like who's on what team, what forces, and some stuff like that. I would propose in that same location adding a method, set available races or something, maybe even have it run automatically, maybe just load it from a config file inside the map, inside of War 3 misc txt or War 3 skin txt. You could certainly choose one of those, whichever you prefer, but I think that's what a user would like to see. The ability to edit some simple data file, maybe in the editor. I mean, maybe you could have a button in the editor to edit it, you know, like an additional tab, kind of like the object editor. But again, that's not completely necessary. I think what would be nice would just be to see that functionality exist. You know, I'm able to extract the game here, and now let's go to town making our custom race. So we know war3skins.txt. This file, it represents the skins of our stuff. Now we're just going to add corrupt elf to war3skins.txt as another entry, and what we're going to do is we're going to take night elf, and we're going to scroll all the way down until the next entry. Oh, I did accidentally copy undead there. Alright, so we're just going to go to the end of undead, after night elf, after undead, and we're going to paste a copy of night elf, and we're going to call it corrupt elf. So now what you can see here is I've created an entry in war3skins.txt that allows me to have a custom music backtracks for my custom race. It allows me to have custom victory, defeat music, all those different voice sounds, like the you know, can't build there, and our hero has been slain, and all that stuff, right? You can put in custom cursors, these various things, just right here in this War 3 skins file, developed by the designers of Blizzard. Now I've added a new race, Corrupt Elf, to that file. And in theory, that should mean now we have an extra entry for the race. Now as you can see here, I'm also going to edit units command strings. This one, it took me a second, so I had to do a find in files to try to remember what folder this would be in. But you know, if we find something like the no food section in the errors, right? We will find, when you have no food, we have build more farms, build more burrows, summon more ziggurats, create more moonwells. And now we've added corrupt elf, so we're going to have right there on the end, create more corrupted tree of life to continue unit production, because I forgot to put in moonwells in there while we were working minutes ago. So we're just going to go the silly route and say build more tree of life. Other than that, these other text messages are pretty much all consistent across everything. Looks like, see, we're looking for commas. No town hall is most targeted friendly. Town hall is targeted friendly. Great hall. I guess we'll just have that one say most targeted friendly town hall again. Alright, here's our 4th entry. Here's our 5th entry. Alright. There are no friendly town halls at town portal. There are no friendly great halls. There are no friendly town halls. There are no friendly town halls at town portal too. Alright. It's probably good, honestly, for the most part, right? You just gotta get those custom messages in there. Let's see. Gold mine is running low, gold mine is running low, we've almost depleted our gold source, gold mine is running low. Too bad you can't harvest, because our corrupted wisps probably can't use entangled gold mines. Cool, so now that we have that, and, too bad you can't harvest is a silly message. Alright, we're just gonna say gold mine is low. So you put in a couple of these messages, right? And then, most important part, once you've added each of the racial custom messages for your custom race, you go to blizzard.j, and you just find where you have like race underscore night elf. So I have race underscore night elf as number 4 here, so I'm going to add race underscore corrupt elf. And I'm going to say that that is ordinal number 5, because we need to be able to detect it on the menu screen, right? And then let's see if we can find race night elf again, wherever that pops up. We're gonna make this one. Oh yeah, so we've got these functions: melee starting units, night elf. So sorry, there's a Naga entry here from a previous attempt at this video. So let's say that I needed to copy this, and I just paste some code in here, right? If race equals race underscore corrupt elf, then we're going to call melee starting units corrupt elf. So just will be a copy of that same function that creates corrupt elf units. Let's see. Also want, or else we have a race night elf. We're just going to put the night elf. This of course won't work, but let's tell it if it's corrupt elf that it's going to run the night elf AI, because we don't have an AI. Maybe later we'd make one, right? And this is where we'd put, oh, corrupt elf AI. In fact, let's put that in there. It'll just fail and not find the file. So obviously we're going to run this elf AI for the elf race, but we didn't create the function melee starting units corrupt elf. So let's copy melee starting units night elf. Here we go. This is starting units for night elf players. And we're just going to copy that. We're going to paste that in here. Starting units for corrupt elf players. Melee starting units, corrupt elf. Starting units for corrupt elf players. 1 corrupted tree of life and 5 corrupted wisps. Cool. Now this is where it's really important to remember. We're NCTL for our corrupted tree of life, and our corrupted wisp is CWIS, because those are the IDs that we had happened to have chosen. And of course, we will have those memorized, and we'll know what those are. We'll look them up if we're a map developer, and I'm sure map developers are just fine with that. We're just looking for the ability to customize this stuff. And the heroes, let's just give them, I mean, like paladin, you know what I'm saying? We'll just make it just spawns a paladin if you do that, because well, we don't have heroes, so we can spend our time on that. Anything that references night elf tree of life, or it's like tree of life, and this thing, which is the number of key structures that a player has. Obviously, a user would also need to edit this one to say corrupted tree of life, or whatever their particular custom unit type was. Awesome. So now I've added unit production into this by ordinal 5, but then we're going to say, how do you choose this custom race? What the heck is ordinal 5? So that's where I'm just going to go to frame def in the glue section to player slot. It's the slot that you see on the screen when you're about to start the map. And we're going to go to where it says night elf. Maybe it says night underscore elf. And we're going to copy that, and we're going to say corrupted space night elf. So I'm sure you can use multi-language files, right? This is a link to globalstrings.fdf, but I'm not going to be caring about that right now. So we're just going to put corrupted night elf on the menu. Now that's on the player slot. So players, when they play the game, will get corrupted night elf units. Now, of course, the one other thing we must not forget was cne.w3u, my custom unit data that adds the corrupted wisp into the game. We're just going to call that war3map.w3u to do an override. But that is all hypothetical nonsense, right? Obviously, none of this could exist. The point is just, I wish Blizzard could make this exist. And that's why I'm making this video. So we would do some override. You can already see my brain thinking like a Warcraft developer. Like, maybe I can override map unit data. Maybe I can override campaign unit data. But I'm going to come up with a way to override what's in the game. And all I'm asking for is that the systems I'm showing right now, which clearly almost can handle an override, be upgraded to be able to handle a map side override. So you could do what I'm doing right now, put it in a map. Now, all of that is done and done. So it's time to regenerate our theoretical, this is fake, right? No, this is real, fire MPQ. Based on, we're just going to build it out of this folder where we just modded stuff, fire MPQ. Yeah. Oh, oops, I clicked next. Sure, we're just going to generate fire MP. So I mean, this is purely hypothetical, right? Obviously, this is compiling in like 10 seconds. I mean, it's but in real life, this would be a map. I'd click save in the world editor. That's what would have just happened right now. Now, all right, now here I am. Again, this is fake game client. It's not real. None of this is actually happening. This is a hypothetical, right? It's video edited. So hypothetically, after the changes I had just made, I would be able to do corrupted night elf and click start game, and then it would start. It would show the night elf UI because that's what I had chosen in war3skins.txt or a similar file. Maybe the world editor, skins of some sort like that. And then the game would pop open. I'd have my corrupted wisps. Obviously, it's up to me as a map developer to make sure you can harvest gold through this entangled gold mine. And I'd be able to build my corrupted Ancient of War and start my civilization here, train some more corrupted wisps. So as you can see here, I've constructed some units. Let's enter some, we're just going to quickly build things. So again, with my hypothetical, I'd like us to see, in particular, if I train some of these satyrs here, that when I reach that point that I am got too little food, it says create more corrupted tree of life to continue unit production. Now we know it said that because that's what we put in the settings files, right? In theory, these things should be easily customizable in that way, and easy to update as a map developer. All of that is dependent upon a system, an underlying system that's able to add more custom races into the game like this, right? Let's say I were to play again and play as everything else on this list, like human, right? You'd want all of these to function, that you can be human, orc, undead, corrupted, night elf, just by allowing the user to add an ordinal, like we saw with me. I added ordinal 5 when there was already 1, 2, 3, 4, and now I can play as the humans and run them around. That's the aspiration that I've created this video to ask for. Because sincerely, I wish that was a real thing. I mean, wouldn't it be cool if this video was remotely real at all? Look at these little peasants. They have like dynamic shadows or something. I mean, nothing in this video is real, but I think it would be cool if it was, and if instead of a game modding system, as you can see, I was doing some crazy game modding with the files. I think we could do those same files as overrides in a Warcraft map. And quite frankly, I wish that potential existed. So I'm creating this video. I'm hoping someday it'll end up in the hands of the right people who will be able to update the game client to give it that potential to be able to handle custom races.